Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you are all having a beautiful Tuesday. I'm Riley, one of our trainers here at Yes Supply, and I'm so excited to be chatting today with one of our students, Ashley. Ashley is so cool, so I'm so excited for her to tell you all about her story, her time in the Yes Supply method, her whole experience. It's going to be so fun. Okay, let me just add Ashley to our chat, and then we will get started with our beautiful live. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. Maybe I can request Ashley to join. Oh, I see.
I'm so excited too. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, the way, Ashley, I didn't even know you were a 49ers cheerleader until you sent me your bio.
Yeah.
I was talking to Steph about it today. I was like, Steph, did you know Ashley cheered at the Super Bowl? And she was like, no, we had a whole conversation about it. We need to chat about that at some point. That is so cool.
I know, it's so funny. I always it honestly still for me feels like a dream. I know obviously it happened, but it was in 2019 and 2020. So I don't know. I feel like I've grown so much since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. It was so fun.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Anyways, that's the news I just found out today. So crazy. But how are you?
I'm doing really well, and I'm just very excited to be here and chat about this with you today.
Beautiful. Thank you. So Ashley, for those that don't know you, can you give us a glimpse into your story, who you are, what you do, all of that good stuff?
Yeah, so I'm a health and fitness coach, so I help women lose weight, but I take a very different approach because I started off in my journey where I gained 30 pounds when I got to college, and I struggled really hard mentally. I was in this season where I was just so lost, and I didn't know anything about mindset. I didn't even know anything about health and fitness because, as most do in high school, I was like dancing. I didn't have to worry about what I ate or, how to work out because I was just naturally working out all the time. So for me, when I got to college, it was really hard for me because I was so lost and confused on why my body changed. And for me, I'm someone who really has had to work through my mindset a lot because I'm someone who lives in my head a lot. And even growing up, I was so shy. I was so quiet. I was so mute. I was afraid of everything. And then as I grew up, I kind of started to shift and change and kind of started talking. Even as a side note, when I was a dancer in high school, our choreographer made different types of dances, and ours was circus. It was a Britney Spears song, and she made me the mime because that's how quiet I was. Everybody knew that I was just the quiet one. So it's so funny talking to people now. They're like, what? You were the quiet one? That just does not make sense. But anyways, I had to overcome a lot throughout over the years. And yeah, my body became something that consumed my mind. I couldn't go out to eat without thinking people were judging me about what my food choices were. I was so stuck in my head. And during this college experience, I feel like everyone was like, oh, college is the best years of your life. And I was so confused. I was like, I'm actually really miserable right now because I feel so uncomfortable in my own skin. And then, I struggled on and off weight loss programs. I tried intermittent fasting, Weight Watchers, all of the things. And then I read a book that kind of touched on mindset, and my mindset was the catalyst that actually allowed me to lose 30 pounds. And, when I work with clients, yes, you have to eat healthy and move your body, but your mind decides how you actually show up. And so I ended up, yes, eventually losing the 30 pounds pretty relatively quickly because I really shifted at an identity level. And it was perfect timing because right after I graduated college, my plan was to audition for pro dance teams. And so that's when my whole journey kind of started with the pro dance. And then, which we can talk more about if you are interested. But after that, I became obsessed with health and fitness. And when I lost the weight and really started focusing on my mindset and felt so confident, I was like, whoa, I need to share this with the world. I do not want any girl out there to ever struggle the way that I did. I really want to help people, which was kind of the catalyst to me becoming a health and fitness coach.
Okay, wow. So you have really been on a journey. And that's so interesting too, like you're saying about like the mindset aspect of health and wellness and just like really that being the catalyst was
Yeah,
massive.
it was huge. And it was something that I had never heard anyone talk about before. And the book that I read, I'm not even going to say the name because a lot of people have mixed views on how they took and responded to the book. But the one book pretty much said, like, if you don't believe that you can reach your dream body, you're never going to. And I was like, wait, what? What? Like that just like blew my mind. I was like, I've never heard anyone say this before. So it really started me on this whole journey of, yes, I'm very obsessed with nutrition and moving your body, but the mindset piece is the key to actually show up and take action in that way.
Oh my gosh, totally. Okay, I love that. And then how did you come across Yes Supply? What was your journey from, okay, I am now a health and fitness coach
Yeah.
to here's Reese and I'm going to join the program?
Yeah, so it's actually so interesting how I found Yes Supply because I I'm one of those people where if I think someone's very cool on social media, I'm like, I'm gonna reach out. Like, I just want to tell them that they're cool and we have similar interests and stuff like that. So I actually reached out to someone who was already a student in Yes Supply. Um, Her name is Sierra, and we randomly got lunch one day, and she was telling me about Yes Supply. And at that moment, I wasn't like looking for any sort of mindset course because I had done a few other courses and certificates and stuff before. Um, and then one day I was listening to a podcast where Reese was being interviewed on it. And it was like, I don't know, I just like felt this feeling that I was like, whoa, this is so interesting. The episode was like 222, and I was like, okay, this is kind of a sign. And then I realized it was the exact course that my friend Sierra had mentioned to me like a year prior. And I was like, okay, like this has to be a sign. So I became obsessed and I dove into everything Yes Supply because I was so curious about it. I have a very obsessive personality, which is why, I used to be like obsessed with food and everything in a not
Right.
so positive way. So it makes sense. Um, but yeah, I just became obsessed and all of the information in there, even prior to joining Yes Supply, I was like, wow, this is so much amazing information. And I felt like this was the key to this was the missing piece of my program because, like we even talked about, I can say all day, okay, go eat healthy, go move your body. Obviously, there's some more complexities than that to it, but there were some girls that would show up and they would do the things and they would see the results. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. But then there were some women that weren't showing up. And I honestly felt so helpless because I was like, I care so much about these people and these women in my program, and I don't know how to coach them to get them to actually show up. And so when I found out about Yes Supply and limiting beliefs and fears and how all of this stuff can really stop you from actually showing up, it was just like, oh, I have to do this. Like, this is the missing piece. This is how I'm going to be able to help those women who are not showing up. And the more I coach clients, the more I'm like, wow, this type of work is so much deeper than just surface level. Okay, here's diet and exercise plan. It just, our body is complex. It's our home. It's the
Hmm.
thing that we present to the world. And so it can be such a sensitive topic. So having these tools has just been so life changing, not only for me because I use them on myself, but also my clients.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's so amazing. And it's so interesting when you read the book, it must have on some level kind of like called out your limiting belief, but it was so almost like subconscious
Exactly.
that when you consciously connected, okay, we need to release people's limiting beliefs. Here's a program that can do that. You were already kind of introduced through Sierra, who I think was in my cohort. I think I
Really?
literally know who you're talking about. Yeah. We
Yeah.
have similar energy. She has blonde curly hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like really good at snowboarding. She like,
Yes.
yeah.
She was in my cohort
Oh my
with
gosh.
me and Britt. That's so
That is
funny.
so
Um,
funny.
so yeah, okay, so what a wild journey to now getting here and really just be able to identify. And that's such like an empowering feeling as a coach when you're like, okay, you might not be showing up for your health and fitness, even though obviously I know you want to, because on some level you don't believe it's possible, or on some level maybe you don't feel this way about your identity. So being able to connect that must just feel so empowering also for you as a coach.
Yeah, it really does because like I said, I care so much about these women and I could just see how hard they were on themselves when they weren't showing up and they weren't doing the things. And I think again, women are so hard on themselves, especially about their bodies, and it's so easy to just spiral and be like, okay, this doesn't work for me. See, like it's not working. When now I feel so, yeah, empowered to be able to show them that there's a reason that you're not showing up.
Mhm.
There's things that there's tools and modalities that we can use to help you show up in the way that you truly want to. So it feels very, very powerful.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so let's talk about you specifically. Obviously, you have some sort of killer mindset in terms of like you're a high level athlete, being, like a cheerleader and doing all the dance and stuff like that. Then coming into fitness and nutrition and stuff like that. Like there's so much mindset involved. How did you feel like what was your journey like in Yes Apply? Was there any moments in the techniques where you had ahas or any transformations?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, I become obsessed with things and having like when I first opened the portal, I was like, oh my gosh, I was so excited and freaking out because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to dive into all of this. And so I feel like there were aha moments every single time I watched the modules, and I honestly watched pretty much all of the modules twice because I was like, I need to understand this. And I still am like, there's so much information in there in the best way that I'm like, I want to go back and even dive deeper because I'm sure that there's something that I have missed. But in terms of aha moments, I think just being able to be coached by other women in the live calls was so helpful for me. And there was just so many amazing women in that group that were able to mirror things back to me and see things that I didn't even know were holding me back. But one of the most powerful techniques that really, really hit home for me was the hypnosis. And it really just allowed me to step into this new identity, and it allowed me to feel more confident talking about my services because that's a whole other piece. It's one thing to be a coach, but you have to like market and talk about yourself, and sometimes that's really challenging for me. So I feel like it was really, yeah, empowering to have someone else coach me and do a hypnosis, and then like it honestly feels like magic where I'm like, okay, cool, that's fine, I'll talk about myself, it's okay. Like even me coming on this live today, I Jordan, one of the girls in the program, she's like, are you nervous? And I was like, no. I was like, whoa, I'm actually not. Like, I'm very excited just to have this conversation, which again, thinking back to my little shy, quiet, mute girl, like I'm so proud of me for that.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you too, especially like having the visual of Britney Spears circus playing in the background. You are the mime to hopping on this call, being so confident, marketing yourself, like having a whole business
Yeah.
around. Like, I just feel like that's so massive.
Yeah, it feels really, really good.
Okay, that's so exciting. So, hypnosis, that was a big one for you. Any others where you're like, oh, I love this and I'm going to use it literally all the time? It's my favorite.
Yeah, so another one, well, there's
Yeah.
so many because
Yeah.
they all do different things and they're
Mhm.
so powerful for different reasons. I love releasing negative emotions. That's a big one, and limiting decisions. Those two are so, so powerful. But something unique that I think I'll use a lot is the parts integration
Mhm.
because I think there's so many women, especially when it comes to reaching their dream body and losing weight. There is part of them that obviously wants to reach their dream body and lose the weight, but then there's this other part of them that is either afraid they're going to not be able to show up for themselves, or there's a part of them that's actually really comfortable staying where they are. And so that is one of those techniques where being able to see how both of them can come together and be able to actually work together and they're working together for you is so powerful. So that's one that I'm definitely going to be using a lot on my clients. But I love all of them. And I'm like, I need to go back and rewatch all of the trainings even more because I want to dive even deeper and feel even more confident in all of them.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love that. Definitely can relate to the parts aspect. Parts of me is like wants to expand and be this new version, and part of me is like so comfortable. So yeah, I can definitely relate to that. And there's so much even like again, I've been doing this for 4.5 years, and there's times when I go to the gym and I'm like, this is really hard and I don't know if I can do this. So even like overcoming that in the moment, it's like, this is hard and I can do hard things.
Yes.
And just like the constant rewiring of this like new neural pathway of this is hard and I can do hard things in relationship to fitness, I think is massive. Then it just applies to the rest of your life and you've built this huge
Yeah.
muscle.
Yeah, exactly. I truly believe how you feel in your body impacts everything in your life. And, maybe this is just because this is my zone of genius. This is what I love talking about. But if you don't feel good, you're not going to be able to show up, not only for your workouts, but also in your day-to-day life, like thriving in your career, thriving in your relationships. If you don't feel good in your body, you can't feel confident in other areas of your life. So I'm probably very biased, but I truly believe that how you feel in your body determines everything in your life.
Oh, I totally agree. I love that. Okay, so what got you to say yes to Yes Supply? What was kind of like the I'm going for it?
Yeah. Like I said, I like just get so obsessed with things and I can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And so when I have one of those moments where I'm like, okay, like I'm watching the free masterclass multiple times, like, okay, actually, like it's time to commit, okay? And like all those other signs and the synchronicities with Sierra and then listening to that podcast. And then I was like, okay, I have to do this. So it really like, I I'm one of those people where I have really strong gut feelings and I I just have to lean into them. I think I do get scared. I have always had a fear of investing in myself and doing scary things like even, auditioning for pro dance teams. That was probably the scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And I just honestly felt the fear and did it anyways. I think if you're constantly coming back and checking to see like if there's any more posts or like rewatching the masterclass, that's probably a sign that it's something that you should invest in, even if it does feel scary, because on the other side of getting out of your comfort zone is where magic truly happens in your life.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, it's kind of like you're not sure what's on the other side, like you're saying, and then just really trusting yourself. Like, I can do this. I'm feeling called to it, and then just going for it. Oh,
Yeah, and you build up that self-trust too, so it gets less and less scary, but
yeah.
then there's always like bigger, other things that, push you out of your comfort zone too. But yeah, I mean, I love all of these tools, and there's also this other piece of like feeling the fear and doing it anyways. I think just builds so much resilience and so much confidence and so much self-trust.
Oh, totally. And then like getting to that place where you can feel the fear, do it anyways, then come up against mindset blocks, release them, continue to feel the fear, continue to do it anyways, and then
Yeah.
before you know it, you have like you this massive business build, or you've gone from being the mime in Britney Spears to like a pro dancer, like that's massive, that's huge. So that's so cool. Obviously, you're just naturally good at that, and then add on top of that all the mindset tools that you've got,
Yeah.
like it's just going to be unstoppable.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm so excited and it feels really good to just be able to help women that are already hard enough on themselves be able to see their full potential, and not only me see it but allow themselves to see it too, so they can step up and be exactly who they're meant to be. So yeah, it feels amazing.
Oh, I love that. Okay, where can we follow along on your journey? Where can we get more of Ashley? Where are you?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram. It's just my name at Ashley Robutz. And then I'm on TikTok and YouTube and all the things, but I also have a podcast called The It Girl Mindset. So that's on Spotify, Apple. I post it on YouTube too. So, but yeah, you can find everything and all my links on my Instagram.
Oh, I love that. Any last words of wisdom or thoughts before we wrap up, Ashley?
I think again, I just want to emphasize, like, if you have a gut feeling that you are meant for something like Yes Supply, you can't stop thinking about it. You're stalking the Instagram, you're watching the masterclass, just do it, because again, on the other side of getting outside of your comfort zone is truly magic. And I always say too, your desires are your direction. If it's in your mind, it's in there for a reason. It's not randomly put there. So just follow that.
I love that. It has been so much fun chatting with you. So thanks for joining our live, Ashley. And I will see you next week for your graduation.
Yes, sounds good. Thanks, Riley.
Thanks, Ashley. Bye.
Bye.